There is a quiet, merciless law at work in the universe, one that asks no permission and offers no apologies. The world doesn't wait. It doesn't pause because you're overwhelmed. It doesn't slow down when you're unsure. And it certainly doesn't freeze in place while you make up your mind. The truth, as uncomfortable as it may be, is this. You either move forward or you get left behind. You either grow or you decay. You either lead your life or life leads you. Most people don't fail because they're not talented. They don't miss out because they're unlucky. They drift because they wait. They wait for certainty. They wait for confidence. They wait for the right moment. And while they wait, the world just keeps turning. You can almost hear it if you listen closely. The hum of progress. The sound of footsteps, of voices, of machines, of ideas taking shape, of men and women building futures while others are still deciding if they're ready. The world belongs, not to the ones who ask for time, but to the ones who take command of it. Let me say something that might sound harsh, but it's a gift in disguise. The world is not obligated to accommodate your delay. It is not going to explain itself while you figure out your story. It doesn't negotiate with hesitation. That might sound cruel. But it's also beautiful if you understand it. Because that same world, cold and unrelenting, will open its doors to the man or woman who dares to move, to the one who, in spite of fear, steps forward. Not because it's easy. Not because they're ready. But because they've decided. You see, progress has always been the reward of the mover, not the waiter. But why do so many people hesitate? It's not because they don't want a better life. Most people dream more than they act. They imagine change. They hope for success. They pray for clarity. But they don't move. And in the silence of their indecision, excuses grow. I need more time. I'm not sure yet. I'll start after this season. I'm waiting for the right opportunity. And behind each excuse is a small truth wrapped in a large lie. Yes, time matters. Yes, timing is a factor. But what matters more than time is direction. And what matters more than direction is decision. Because indecision is the poison of progress. Let me put it simply. The moment you choose hesitation, the world keeps going. And it offers your place to someone else. This is not punishment, it's principle. The farmer who waits for perfect weather never plants. And the one who never plants will never reap. So how do we stop waiting? How do we take control of our lives in a world that moves so fast? We begin with philosophy. Your personal philosophy, what you believe about life, about effort, about responsibility, is the compass that guides every decision you make. If your philosophy is weak, so are your standards. If it's lazy, so are your habits. If it's unclear, so is your life. People think success starts with action. No. It starts with belief. Because your actions are the children of your beliefs. So what do you believe? Do you believe you are responsible for your life? Do you believe that discipline creates freedom? Do you believe that your habits today shape your results tomorrow? If you don't, if somewhere in your mind you think the future is out of your hands, then why would you move? Why would you act? You'll wait. You'll wait for life to choose for you. But here's the tragedy, life will. And you may not like what it chooses. So take back the pen. Stop letting the calendar make your decisions. You don't need permission to start. You need purpose. Now, with a foundation of philosophy, the next stone is discipline. Discipline is the bridge between what you want and what you build. It is the daily, deliberate alignment of your actions with your intentions. It is waking up when you said you would. It is doing the work when motivation has left the room. It is choosing growth over comfort, again and again and again. And yet, so many treat discipline as punishment. It is not. Discipline is the highest form of self-respect. It says, I believe I'm worth the effort. I believe my future is worth the fight. There is a price to pay for success, but it's pennies compared to the cost of regret. Let me ask you, How many dreams have died in the waiting room of maybe? How many relationships, businesses, goals suffocated by hesitation? This is why the world feels like it's racing ahead while you're standing still. Not because it's unfair, but because it moves in the direction of decision. And it rewards the disciplined. So if you want to rise, you must become the kind of person who moves, even when it's inconvenient, even when it's uncertain, even when it's hard. Discipline is your vehicle. But direction comes from goals. Without clear goals, discipline has no destination. You don't drift to greatness. You decide your way there. So ask yourself, what do you want, truly? What does your ideal day look like? Your ideal work? Your ideal health? Your ideal relationships? You can't move toward a fog. You must see it clearly. And once you do, break it down. Turn vision into targets. Turn targets into habits. Turn habits into your lifestyle. And here is a key truth: goals are not wishes. They are promises you make to yourself and keep. Now, once you set your goals, you must guard your attention. Because time, the currency of your life, is being spent whether you invest it or not. Every hour you spend on distraction is an hour you trade away from your dream. Every day you say, just one more scroll, one more episode, you are borrowing joy from your future and handing it to the present, and often for nothing in return. The world is filled with noise. And the people who win, the real movers, are not the ones who consume the most. They are the ones who guard their time like gold. Because it is gold. No one gets more than 24 hours. But the person who controls their 24 controls their destiny. Let me pause here, not to stop, but to breathe. Because the weight of truth is not meant to crush you. It's meant to wake you. The world doesn't pause. But that doesn't mean you need to panic. It means you need to prioritize. You can't do everything. But you can do something. And you can do it now. So do it now. Not next week. Not when you feel ready. Not when the fear fades or the path clears. Do it now. Because motion creates clarity. Because action breeds direction. Because there is no miracle coming to push you forward, only the choice to step. And when you step, even if it's unsure, even if it's small, the universe responds. Doors crack open. Energy shifts. And your mind begins to believe what your actions are telling it, that you are not a spectator in this life, you are the author. But let's be honest, not every step will be smooth. Not every day will reward your effort. There will be seasons. This is the law of nature. The law of the seasons of life. You will have your spring, moments of renewal, beginnings, energy. You will have your summer, long days of hard work, where the sun is high and the grind is real. You will have your fall, the harvest, the results of your effort, the evidence of discipline. And you will have your winter, cold days, discouragement, moments of quiet and stillness. But here's the truth: every season is necessary. The mistake most people make is trying to live only in the spring and fall. They want the freshness of new starts and the glory of results. But they avoid the summer labor. They fear the winter reflection. And so, they fail to understand the full rhythm of growth. Discipline is summer. Reflection is winter. Vision is spring. And reward is fall. If you want to master your life, learn to work through the heat and learn to endure the cold. Because those who do become unstoppable. And here's something deeper still, something Jim Rohn taught with elegance. You cannot change the seasons, but you can change yourself. You can't control the weather. You can't always predict the world. But you can prepare. You can sharpen your tools. You can build your inner strength, your mental resilience, your emotional intelligence, so that no matter the season, you remain steady. The oak tree does not complain when the wind blows. It bends. It roots deeper. It lets the storm pass and stands taller after. Be like that. Now let's speak of something rarely discussed in the age of speed: association. Who you spend time with is who you become. And in a world that moves fast, the company you keep will either anchor you or accelerate you. You don't need everyone's approval, but you do need alignment. Surround yourself with people whose lives reflect the values you admire. Those who honor discipline. Those who dream big, but also work hard. Those who don't just talk about growth, they live it. And if that circle doesn't exist yet, become it. Be the example. Because as you rise, you will attract others who are rising too. Now, we arrive at the heart of this message, the unspoken battle between movement and excuses. Excuses are sophisticated lies we tell ourselves to protect the comfort we don't want to leave. They sound noble. I'm too tired. I'm just being realistic. I need to think this through. But in truth, most excuses are just fear in disguise. And here's what fear never tells you. The cost of staying still is always higher than the risk of moving. Because when you stay still, you lose time. You lose confidence. You lose alignment with your potential. When you move, even if you stumble, you gain. You gain strength, wisdom, momentum. And over time, something powerful happens. You become a person who no longer negotiates with weakness. You become a person who doesn't need external permission to act. You become the kind of person who moves, or moves the world. This is what it means to become a person of value. Not because of your resume. Not because of how many followers you have. But because of your habits. Your thinking. Your decisions. The market, the world, it rewards value. And value comes from service. From skill. From the relentless sharpening of who you are. You want to earn more? Become more. You want respect? Cultivate character. You want to make an impact? Start by mastering yourself. Because at the end of the day, life is not something that happens to you. It's something you shape, one decision, 1 hour, one habit at a time. Let me close with this. The clock is ticking. Not in a fearful way, but in a truthful one. The sun will rise and set, whether you move or not. The months will pass, whether you build or delay. The world will keep turning, whether you act or hesitate. And when the story of your life is written, the ink will not come from your dreams, but from your decisions. So I leave you with a choice. Will you wait and be moved by the momentum of others? Or will you move and create momentum of your own? The world doesn't pause for your excuses. It never has. And it never will. So move. Move with clarity. Move with courage. Move with discipline. Move with urgency. Because once you do, you won't need the world to slow down. You'll be ready to run with it. And more than that, you'll be ready to lead.